path. Back when I was a young person, I went to prom in a Hyundai. I got a smidgen of fire from some of my companions for not going along with them in a favor pants limo, but rather my date and I chose to overdo it on a decent supper and offer the humiliation of appearing at the get-together of the year in a shabby Korean import. Goodness, how circumstances are different. The 2018 Hyundai Sonata is something my 17-year-old self would be glad to prom in. It's been overhauled for its 8th era, with new innovation, sheet metal, suspension parts and transmission. The Sonata, Hyundai's average-size car, spaces in the middle of the financial plan the Elantra and the extravagance-centered Azera, which is as yet accessible as a 2017 model. The Sonata is accessible in SE, Cell, Sport and Limited trim with a normally suctioned 2.4-liter motor, yet I invested my energy in the all the more capable 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-barrel motor, which is just accessible in the Sport and Limited trims. Each trim level of the new Sonata comes standard with blind side recognition, raise cross movement caution and path change collaborator. Another path keep help innovation is standard on the limited 2.0T trim, and accessible on the Cell and Limited trims. The framework delicately controls the auto over into the path in the event that you float outside the markers without flagging. It's so delicate it's difficult to feel it working, yet it easily slides the auto once again into legitimate position out and about. Hyundai's versatile voyage control works well in unpredictable rush hour gridlock, conveying the Sonata to a full stop behind a lead auto and taking off again after a concise delay. This component, and additionally crisis-programmed braking, has an indistinguishable accessibility from the path keep help innovation. In the event that you need driver's guide standard, you should take a gander at the Honda Accord, which makes these highlights standard on all trims. Put something aside for the base model. Toyota completes one better, offering this innovation standard over every single trim line of the new 2018 Camry. Hyundai's Great Blue Link infotainment framework is shown on the 7-inch touchscreen standard, in spite of the fact that an 8-inch screen is discretionary. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard, yet the previous a bit glitchy for me. At first Apple CarPlay would just read approaching instant messages through my telephone, not the auto speakers. Be that as it may, in the wake of stopping and unplugging the telephone, the issue settled itself. Notwithstanding, Blue Link is quite smooth, with an adaptable home screen and a discretionary route framework that incorporates Google Nearby Inquiry. One box goal section lets you effortlessly discover addresses or purposes of intrigue. There are a couple of little tech touches that influence the Sonata to emerge from the group. Qi remote charging is standard on the limited 2.0T trim and accessible on limited. Everything except the SE trim have a moment push USB charge port standard. Outlines on driving. Despite the fact that the 2.0-liter turbocharged 4-chamber motor is the same as 2017, making 245 pull and 260 pound-feet of torque, the 8-speed programmed transmission is all new. However, Hyundai didn't stop there, updating the back suspension and controlling framework to enhance responsiveness and taking care of. On the byways of Northern California, I observed the Sonata to be a spry little car, surely. The Sonata's responsive programmed transmission is extraordinary at adapt choice. It's anxious to downshift on corner exits and holds the revs for a long while, notwithstanding when driving in comfort mode. Change to sport and the transmission holds them for somewhat more and moves significantly faster. There are paddle shifters on the off chance that you need to take care of business, yet left to its own gadgets this new transmission is one of the sportiest I've experienced in a while. Eco mode isn't an activity in dissatisfaction, either. Indeed, it upshifts snappier for better gas mileage, yet it's a long way from irritating. It will downshift effortlessly to pass and while quickening from a dead stop, with the goal that it's hard to differentiate amongst comfort and eco mode. The normally suctioned 2.4-liter motor endures a colossal shot in control, down to 185 strength and 178 pound-feet of torque and mated to the 6-speed programmed transmission from 2017. I haven't inspected this blend, however probably the littler power yield and more seasoned transmission would put a significant damper on the good times. The recalibrated directing offers snappy information sources and a decent on-focus feel. There is no torque steer, even upon substantial speeding up from a dead stop, and I didn't see any understeer while hurling the vehicle through the twisties. Extremely noteworthy, Hyundai. Nonetheless, the Sonata 2.0T missed the mark concerning its EPA consolidated fuel rating of 26 miles for each gallon. Amid my week with the vehicle, I just arrived at the midpoint of 23.2 miles per gallon. Be that as it may, I tend to drive with a stone on my correct foot consistently, so your mileage may shift. For 2018, the Sonata gets another forceful front end, with what the Korean automaker is calling a falling grille. LED daytime running lights are presently standard on the 2.0T trims, and the accessible LED headlights with dynamic bowing light are bigger than a year ago, conveying significantly more accentuation to the new grille. In the back, the accessible LED taillights are trimmer for 2018, and the tag has been moved lower, bringing a continuous, smooth line from the highest point of the storage compartment cover to the guard. A delicate touch catch in the middle Hyundai logo opens the storage compartment. It's entirely cool. In spite of the fact that the fair-size car portion is cooling a bit on account of America's fixation on hybrids, there are still bounty to look over. The Toyota Camry has been enhanced for 2018 and can be had with 301 pull, in spite of the fact that power comes at a couple of $1,000s more. The Honda Accord is valued comparably and is accessible with a 6-speed manual transmission, if that is your sack. The Mazda 6 has been my car of decision, however it was down on control. Be that as it may, the 2018 model brags another turbocharged motor for 310 horses. How I'd spec it? On the off chance that I were gone to the dealership, I'd simply go appropriate for the 2.0T Limited, if simply because versatile voyage control isn't accessible in the marginally more affordable 2.0T Sport, and I cherish the additional power in the turbocharged motor. Be that as it may, on the off chance that I were ready to surrender some hustle, I'd take a gander at the cell trim for $23,700 and include the Innovation Bundle for $1,000, attaching versatile voyage control, path keeping help and programmed crisis braking. The 2018 Hyundai Sonata begins at $22,050 for the base SE, however my top-notch limited 2.0T moves that passage point up to $32,450. Despite the fact that the driver's guides aren't accessible on every single trim line, it's a fun and moderate vehicle that shocked me with its nimbleness and great looks.